Welcome to The Art of the Hunt. In this episode, you're going to learn how to make this mask using spray foam. Let's go. Well, welcome to this episode. In this episode, I'm going to show you how to make this mask. This is fairly straightforward. I did use a reference picture. I'm not even in the ballpark of looking like my reference picture, but I took some liberties with art, and it still came out pretty good. It's kind of scary. Not super big fan of how the jaw came out. Would probably do that different in the future. I like how the little horns came out. I like how everything came out. So let me show you kind of what I went through to build this out, and you'll love it.
Okay, first thing, make sure you use Loctite foam. Do not use the Great Stuff foam. Great Stuff foam will not work for this. Next, you'll notice that I have a head sock on the bust, and that's so that when my actors are putting this on, it's more comfortable for them. You'll notice I just went up in the back. It's because this is a mask that we pulled over their head, so I didn't want it to go all the way around the neck. And then just start layering on the foam. You'll notice there the foam did fall off a little bit, but that's fine. You can cut that away later once it hardens. So just keep adding foam in until you've filled up all the space across the whole head. Be very careful when you're laying the foam on. You just want a thin layer because the foam is going to expand. Right here you'll notice a mistake. I have the head sock on, but I did not put plastic over the eye part or tape. And so what happens is that foam is now going to stick to the plaster bust, which becomes a problem later on when I try to take it off the form. The last step before I let the foam set for about 5 to 8 minutes is to spray on some water to speed things up. So while the rest of the head sets up, I want to make the jaw, and I'm going to make that flat and then attach it later with spray foam. So the foam is hardened up or dried enough that it's not sticky. It's not coming off like pieces are coming up when I tap it. It's not sticking to my finger. And so now you just want to mold it and shape it, patting in places, pushing on things. It's going to continue to expand a little bit, but you're just trying to form your shape and get it kind of the way you want it. And so it's just a constant process of working with it and adding a little more foam. And then when you add foam, remember that's got to wait another 5 to 8 minutes before you can really mold that. So I shaped it the way I wanted. I'm adding some more definition with foam. And then over on the mat, you'll see I'm adding some foam to start making some horns, and then also beefing up the jaw a little bit. So now it's been about 8 minutes, and so I can form up the added foam a little bit. So that's what I'm doing, is just going around the eyes, trying to make it look just like I want. I'm referring to my reference picture, which I'm not even close to my reference picture, but anyway, I'm not a perfect artist. So just molding the foam and getting it to how I want. Now it's time to hook the jaw to the rest of the head. I just add a little bit of spray foam to it and then hold it on there. Now the problem is it needs some support, so you'll see me add something to help support it. And then I just start filling in around the jaw and some other places to make it look more naturally like it's connected to the head. And then just got to wait for that to dry, the 5 to 8 minutes, and then mold it again in a little bit. So again, it's been 5 to 8 minutes. The foam is ready, so I'm molding it a little bit more, realizing I'm needing some more foam. So I'm going to add some more foam and then wait another 5 to 8 minutes before I can mold that foam. Okay, the foam is set up. It's still a little bit soft, and it's kind of pliable, which is what you want. So now I can start trying to pull the mask off of the form. You notice I did a little slice in the back to make it easier to get off. But this is also where I realized I had made my mistake and that some of my foam around the eyes had stuck to the plaster bust. So it just took a lot of working, a little bit of cutting with a blade, but ultimately I had success and was able to get it off. So you may not have noticed this, but the jaw is significantly shorter than it was before, and I missed recording this part of the video, but I literally cut the jaw kind of in half, took out about 2 inches, and then re-spray foamed it and reconnected it so it wasn't quite so long. And so now I'm just doing, a little bit of carving and trying to make it look the exact way I want it, cutting out the eye holes, things like that. There's 2 tools that I like to use for carving. One is a serrated knife, and that works really good for kind of getting big pieces cut or shaping things the way you want them. The other tool I like to use is a Dremel tool, but I would just highly suggest wearing a mask and maybe even some glasses when using the Dremel because it kicks up a lot of dust. It does a good job for the fine detail. Don't leave it in any one spot too long because it'll really eat into the foam quickly, but it's a great tool for kind of getting the variations that you want. So I didn't capture video of this, but I made the horns flat just like I did the jaw on the piece of plastic, formed them up the way I wanted, and then used a glue gun to attach them. And so that's what you see there, both on the chin and on the head, is the horns attached with a glue gun.
So you just make a little line for as long as you want your tooth, and then I just do a bunch of those. And if you need a fatter tooth, then I'll just go back over the top of it and put another bead on top of it, and the glue will kind of go around it and make a fat tooth. If you want long skinny teeth, then you draw it out longer like this. I'm just doing short little fat teeth. So now I've done a row. So then what I'll do is I'll go back over them, put a little bead right on top, and it'll kind of melt around whatever's there, and it'll make a nice round tooth.
So once I've trimmed the teeth to the shape I want and they've hardened, I use a glue gun to just attach them to the mouth. And you can just place them in there. The glue gun works great for this, and it easily sticks to the foam mask. So one thing I didn't show you in the video, but the first thing I do before I do all the main painting is I put a one coat of just like a black flat spray paint on, just to kind of give it a base, and then I go from there. So now I'm starting to do red. There's a lot of red in the mouth. I want to do a little bit of red around some of the other places on the face. So this is just using simple acrylic paint that you can get from Walmart, and painting with a brush and just starting to kind of fill this thing out the way I want it to look. So I just continue to paint. I use different colors, lots of different layers. I use some kind of a yellowy brown for the teeth. I did some kind of yellowy white for some of the skin, added some greens, some browns, and really just kind of look at your reference picture or go off what you think looks cool and kind of paint it. I mean, this is where you get to have the creative part. I'm filling in some darker places on the eyes and whatever with black. Any groove or something in the face that I really want to emphasize, I'll make sure down in the depths of that the black really shows through. And you just play around with colors until it comes out the way you want. So you just keep painting until you kind of get it to where you want it. You can mess with it forever, but usually you just have to find a stopping place and be done. It looks cool in daylight and it looks scary, but I think it's even more effective and looks better when you see what it would look like in the dark and in a hunt. So this is just some pictures to give you an idea of what this mask looks like in the darkness and with different lighting.
I hope you like this episode. Remember, like and subscribe my videos because it helps me out, and we'll see you in the next episode.